Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel. So today we have an amazing guest. This guy, when you talk about people that kill it in corporate, we're talking about people like Motha. So I've known this guy since, I think it was last year when we met at church. Yeah, I think it's been a year now. Yeah. It's been a year. We met at church, but he'll give you a bit more background about himself. But today we just want to talk about, you know, growing in your career. We find a lot of people, and so, like I can attest to this, there are points in my life where I felt like I'm feeling a bit stagnant, feeling like there's nothing really happening in terms of my career. How do you accelerate and grow in your career? Yeah. And I think it would be an amazing conversation to have. So introducing Motha, his name is, so I actually found out that Motha is actually your surname a few months ago. Yeah. Yeah. I was like, how?
Motha has become a branding now.
Yeah. Right? So his name is Syduel. Yeah. Yeah. So welcome to the channel. Looking forward to a great conversation. So I just want you to just tell us a bit more about yourself. People don't know you. I've went through your LinkedIn. I know you like very professionally, but I think I'd also like sort of like a more personal aspect as well, just to add a bit of color as well.
Thank you, Sipho, to you and Boipilo in her absentia for giving me this opportunity and trusting me with this conversation on your platform. I really appreciate it. So, yeah, and I think what's exciting for me, Sipho, is that we're having this conversation as we are still growing in our careers, growing together. So we don't wait until we are grown to speak about how we grew. Absolutely. But as we grow, we speak about how we are growing. So it's quite an important and evolving conversation that we're having. So by way of introduction, my full name is actually Syduel Motha, but I frown at people who call me Syduel or Tabiso now because Motha has become a branding issue for me, and I embrace it and I start to insist on it as well now. So I did mining engineering at Wits University. After graduating, I thought that job was not sexy enough, suppose.
you the guys, engineering guys. Yeah. You're the cause of our country's problems.
We're sitting in banks. And
yes, you guys should be wearing overalls. We literally have a skills shortage in the sectors where you guys need to be. Yeah. And then all of you guys are flocking to banks.
I think it's because of the training that we receive, Sipho, you know, that training is quite vigorous, and it makes us to function in multiple environments. Yes. And I think that is going to be a skill that many people will be teaching them to develop today.
No, but why do you not stay in the mines and the ESCOMs and all these?
Okay, I'll tell you my reasons for why I didn't stay in the mining industry, right? Yeah. I went down there, we're wearing overalls down there. It's hot, people we're working in tunnels that are this big. Yeah. I came out and I was like, this is not for you. Right? I thrive in environments that allow my character to come out fully.
You were nice, like wearing suits.
I'm that guy, you know? Aircon on, although I hate the aircon because they make it too cold or yes. Generally, I'm that guy. So I decided that no, I'm not gonna thrive in that environment. In this environment as much as I would, because much of my energy, much of my character is part of my branding, it's part of the value that I bring to the table. So I decided, no, I'm not gonna do this. Then I joined some IT company. Yeah, actually a great IT company. Some IT company. Yeah, and I've been there ever since, right? I started there as a graduate.
And when did you start as a grad?
Wait, time has flown now. 2018.
2018. So you started a year before I started.
Yes. So wait, it's been 4 years now.
Yes, because that's 2018. Because I did varsity 4 years and then 5 years CTA. Yes. Yeah. So because we were
graduated together from Matric.
We were part of that circle.
That circle
on Maths paper 2. Legends, Maths paper 2, 2013 paper. Yeah.
And we found out that day that we're of the same class of 2013, right? Absolutely. When we're discussing that. Yes. So that's great. Then now I work as a product manager in this great IT company.
So it's been only 4 years, and you're
only 4 years.
Tell us about the trajectory,
in terms
of your roles in the company.
So I joined as a graduate in a leadership graduate program that they had made at the time.
So that's in 2018.
That's in 2018.
Yes.
It lasts for a year.
Okay.
Then I joined as a solution consultant at the time.
Yeah.
They were establishing a certain practice, and I had caught wind that they're establishing this practice, and I thought it was cool and exciting. Then I joined there as a solution consultant. After spending a stint there, I decided, you know what, it's not for me.
Yeah.
Let me try and see how I can use the skills that I've gained here to move on to my next role. Then I became a solution automation engineer at the time.
Yeah.
And then I moved on to this role that I'm in now, which is a product manager. So within that 4 years stint, I had done those two.
That is incredible. That is incredible. And I think part of the reason, okay, maybe the biggest reason why you've accelerated so much is probably there's something in you, like, because you probably don't just wake up to work and be like, because there's a lot of us that I may feel like, okay, let me wake up, go to work, earn my living, come back home, sleep, same, and then repeat. But I've seen that the greatest people, the people that accelerate a lot in their career, not just in career, but even in business, they have something burning inside of them when they wake up.
Correct.
What is that for you? Do you just wake up, go to work, earn a living, drive a car, stay in a nice apartment, stay in a nice house?
Yeah.
What is that like? What do you have in you that enables you to like accelerate in your career that much?
I think there needs to be a great mindset change as you step into work. So between that transition into varsity support, and that transition needs to look like I'm now building a craft that I want to be proud of. You know, we spent close to more than 65,000 hours in our lifetime at work, Sipo, right?
That is,
so,
I saw a meme saying, you actually live at work and visit home.
Visit home, right? Because that's like 38 years where you're working, right? If you started normally at 22, right? And if you have, like, that's a lot of time. So you need to make sure that you enjoy what you're doing, firstly, right? And if you're not, then you need to start thinking of ways of how can I leverage where I am to start building for where I want to be. Yeah. So that's the first thing, Sipo. And you know how we always laugh at the question of that says, so what's your 5-year plan? You know, and you're like, I don't know what my 5-year plan is. My plan is to very red at the end of the month. But realistically and honestly speaking, right, you need to sit down and say, where do I want to be in the next 5 years, right? And what skills are required for me when I get to that 5-year mark, right? And what have I already accumulated where I am, and what is the gap? And how do I close that gap, right? And when you look at whatever you do as a contribution to that 5-year mark, to that 10-year mark, right? You begin to see it holistically, and there's joy in it, and there's progress in it, right? Realistically speaking, I didn't move hierarchically up in the organization when you look at the roles that I occupied, right? But I grew in responsibility. I grew in remuneration, right? Which is how I guess we measure progress most of the time, right? So that's also important, that to not always look at growth as vertical growth. So but from where you are, taking the next vertically up, right? It could be looking at your organization a little bit differently and say, when I analyze my organization, what else could I do, or what are some job family groups that are similar to what I do that I can translate to? Because opportunities, people, will not always avail itself where you are sitting now. So in other words, in your current BU, right? But opportunity could be in the next BU, but within the same company. And so
you consider that to be growth as well?
I consider that to be growth, because in terms of your skill set, in terms of your responsibility, and in terms of the pocket, you are growing, right? And those three are very important, right? And I think it's realistic, considering that this is still early career growth. So this is still within the first 5 years. You are building that foundation. It doesn't matter when you do that mashing around. That will come in handy. But obviously, the reality is that some of you have quite straight career lines, like I need to get CA and stuff. So you may not have as flexibility as much. But the truth is, after you learn that CA post, you need to come back to the same politics that we're dealing with in navigating around organizations.
Because apparently the corporate space is very political. You need to know how to play the game.
You need to know how to play the game, right? It's a game at the end of the day. And what I find is that most people that work in these companies, people, right, they have no interest in knowing the company structure, how it's the dynamics, where we're going, what is our operating model. We just wake up and we go to work and come back, right? So if I were to have a conversation with you about company X that you're working for, and what is their operating model, why have they recently changed the operating model, what is the impact of that operating, we don't care about those things because we don't think they affect us. But if that's where you aspire to be, boy oh boy, you should care about those things, because they have a differentiator. When you're speaking to a BU leader, that's how you get his attention, that you care about what he cares about. You understand what he wakes up in the morning and he's worried about.
I think BU, for people who are not in corporate, is a business unit.
Yeah, a business unit
leader.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's interesting, because you can get into that thing of, okay, let me go to work, let me clock out, let me go to work, let me clock out. And then you realize when you 50 something or 60 something, when you retire, that actually a big chunk of my life I spent going to work just to earn a living. I wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't adding value. I wasn't feeling like, there's something that I'm really doing with my life other than just earning money. And that's a very difficult place to be at.
That's sad, that's depressing, and if you do that, you are going to quickly feel stuck, even when you're occupying great roles.
Yes.
Because you could be occupying a great role.
Yes.
But the way in which you approach it will accelerate you getting stuck. Because you're not carrying the right mindset and attitude as you go about that role.
I get you. And then in terms of your career growth, from being a grad to being a product manager, what would you say have been the top 3 things for you that have led to that growth? Like what tools or techniques have you implemented?
Top 3, right?
Yeah, I think the top 3.
That's a tough one, but definitely mentorship. Right? Mentorship. I've had the privilege of having great mentors, and my great mentors have guided me as I was going about my journey. So what mentorship did, it bought me years. So things that I was supposed to only learn 5 years down the line, my mentors made sure that I learned them within the first 1, 2, 3 years of my life.
So you have your own personal mentors?
I have personal mentors, right?
And how did you go about that process?
And I was lucky enough that when we went into our graduate program, we were assigned mentors, right?
Okay.
But even then, Sipo, our mentorship with him was one of the few that really thrived in that year. So I guess we're doing something right that others were not doing, right? And the idea was that we build an authentic relationship with him, right? So we then begin to speak about mentors and sponsors, Sipo, where you build authentic relationship with people in an organization such that they begin to have an authentic interest in your growth and they buy into your success and who you are. And it then removes the barrier, because I think many organizations will say we've assigned you a mentor. Right? But the way in which we go about it, you go sit down there, discuss boring stuff. You bore this guy, he bores you, you're both not looking forward for it, right? You've lost an opportunity.
It becomes more of like a professional...
It will end when that meeting ends. It will end when the meeting ends. But when you build a proper relationship, it means you begin to intrude more than just the professional space, if you can, right?
I think I found that to be a bit difficult to go beyond that professional boundary, to be like, how's your family doing? How's who doing? I think how do you break that barrier?
But that's exactly the barrier that you must break.
Yes.
If people are to truly buy into who you are, right? Because they buy into your story. That unique story. And when that authenticity connection is established, right? You have bought yourself more than a mentor. You could move and go to another business unit, but what you have got yourself is you've got a sponsor in the business, or someone who will always speak about you when you're not there, because they have bought into you. Not just this grad who's doing an analyst. Do you get what I'm saying? Even naturally within life, generally, Sipo, we move mountains for people that we've truly connected with.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, you're just a guy that I met at church. Why would I want to spend my Sunday with you? Do you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But when I feel like I connect with this guy, I connect with this story, I want to be where you are. When you say, Motha, let's do 1, 2, 3, I jump because I connect.
You connect to me,
That's it.
That's good. And then the other ones, what would you say?
So one is sponsorship, right?
And mentorship and sponsorship. So sponsorship is more of like someone who in the organization will vouch for you.
Right? Secondly, although this is assumed, Sipho, excellence is assumed in this conversation that we're having today. So here we're already assuming that you're in your role and you're already excelling at what you're doing, right? So that part we're not going to discuss.
Yeah.
We are asking the question, what more should I do above and beyond just mastering what I'm doing on a daily basis?
Yes.
I found that in corporate specifically, Sipho, you need to be an over-communicator. Right?
Okay.
And I'll explain what I mean by that.
Yeah.
I've found in my early years, right, that someone will give me a task, right, and say, Motha, go and do 1, 2, 3. And I'll go away and I'll focus on the task, and I'll only come back when I have a feedback to them.
Yes.
And to them, it looks like this guy is not taking what I've said to them seriously. Yet you have people who are over communicators, and our other friends from the they master this, right?
Oh, from where?
They master this. We must be politically correct. They master this in that you say, hi, I've spoken to so and so, and this is how far I've done, and this is the progress, this is what I'm waiting for, right?
Yes.
That over communication throughout the process of what you're doing, what you've worked on, what has worked, it differentiates in a subtle way.
And I think it's also important, sorry to jump in, when you have a manager that's not micromanage, that doesn't micromanage you.
Correct.
Because then you are able to, a manager that does not micromanage does not want to be blindsided.
Correct.
When the deadline is tomorrow, you produce something, they've given you something for 3 months.
Yeah.
And day before the deadline, you give them something and it's not suboptimal.
It's suboptimal.
Yeah.
What you also do by over communicating, you're allowing him to intervene early in the process and say, oh, Sipho, this is what you have think. Oh, sorry, maybe let's use the strategy. Way before the deadline. You don't want to find that before the deadline because you're that guy right now. You don't want to be that guy. But even if you're the manager who over micromanages, you limit his access to you through the micromanagement by over communicating. Because you're telling him that I'm busy with this, I'm working on this.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes, I get you.
So that issue of being able to have a voice of speaking about your achievements, over communicate, I find that it's helpful. But on the last point around mentorship, when we speak mentorship, people always think vertically up. Peer mentorship also helps a great deal, Sipho. These are people around you who are also doing great.
So people in your career.
These are your peers.
Okay.
Right? So they could be in peers like myself and you. And they don't always have to be in your department, but it helps when they're in your department, in your industry. Because you can quickly see what you're doing wrong. Right? So have those people who you're going to be open to learning from them, although they are your peers.
Absolutely.
Because those guys are going to accelerate your growth greatly.
I get you.
I think those three are top three that have contributed to my journey today.
No, I love that. And then after having used all those tools, and then now you're accelerating, you're growing in your career and whatever, let's say you get a promotion or you move horizontally from one team to the next, and now you're presented with an offer. This is a difficult one. How do you navigate the negotiation? Because some people get an offer, and then they're like, sharp, it's fine, I'm not going to negotiate, whatever. How do you even benchmark how much you should be earning? Because now you feel like you're more valuable. You've implemented all these tools. You're moving. You get an offer. How do you say, okay, this is not what I'm worth?
The how is not absolute, Sipho, because it will depend from point to point, situation to situation, right? But I'll share the thinking. When you want to negotiate an offer, you're essentially putting a counter business case on the table.
Okay.
We must think of offers not as what we need to get, but as what we are worth and what we need to be compensated for, right? And what I mean by that, Sipho, is businesses care about themselves and not you, right? So if you tell them that, no, I feel like I should get an increase here because I've got more kids now. Now Boipilo and I are getting another kid and we want to move. That doesn't cut it, right? But when you begin to look at your offer holistically and say, first of all, this is what the market is offering for this type of role. And how you get that is you can speak to people that are in similar roles. It's unfortunate that most people find it a bit of an abomination to speak about, remuneration as in monetary remuneration. But if you can, if you've built enough rapport with people,
Yeah.
like we were saying earlier,
Yeah.
around mentors, sponsors, and peers, they will let you know that, okay, I know that people in this thing are
earning this much.
right?
Yeah.
So you'll have that insight.
Yes.
But also, this information is available online on platforms like Glassdoor, like salary.com, and many other. ChatGPT is also one that I see that it offers you that if you type a role and ask, it will give you a
But
good
how
range.
up to date is that information?
It will obviously always not be up to date, but it's a good thingy, and
it's
it
a
will
good
give you a
benchmark.
good range
Okay.
as well, right?
Yeah.
Of so that you don't leave money on the table,
Yeah.
right? And then secondly, if you look at your current offer that you have right now, right, look at some of the non-monetary benefits that you're getting that could translate to them increasing your monetary offering. I'll give an example. In my role, I travel a lot,
Yeah.
right? And if I'm going into a role that is not traveling a lot, I need to be compensated in brackets
Yes.
for that, right?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So you like the fact that you are able to travel in your role.
Correct.
Okay.
I like that, right?
Yes.
Right? For instance, one of the things that you must never leave out, if you have a client-facing role, make sure that you negotiate a petrol card into it. Those are some of the examples that you can look out to.
Yeah.
But benchmarking is going to be your number one.
Yeah.
Two, you think about the value that you bring to the table.
Yeah.
And usually, let me make this example. Let's say you're in HR, right? And you want to communicate the value that you bring to the table. You can speak around, I've served a business unit that has got employees, 3,000 employees, right? I've managed to process a payroll of over 3,000 employees. When you start using money, like measurable metrics in communicating the value which you have delivered, right? You're running a project right now. I've negotiated a 8 million deal, right, successfully. When you speak about your time management, you speak about how you've completed 3 projects that ran concurrently in time. You're beginning to use tangible metrics to communicate the value that you bring, right? I've saved X amount of money for this business, or I manage a revenue statement of this amount. That is my product. When you begin to speak like that, it changes the conversation.
Changes the dynamic. I get you. And then in terms of networking and everything, like we see, it's sort of like common thing, network. And then I go to a lot of corporate events and stuff. You can't, like, how do you practically network? Because approaching someone, saying, I work at so-and-so company, I do this, they tell me this, that. How do you continue that kind of conversation? How do you effectively and practically network with someone?
So the same tool that we use for mentorship, we need to bring here to
networking,
right? We're building a relationship with people, and depending on where they are in the organization, you may need to build a relationship a little bit differently. So allowing a bit of vulnerability around family, around some of your interests, and I found that a lot of times we want to over project who we are and where we are, and it doesn't allow us for people to spot opportunities where they can truly help us, right? But also, when we think of networking, we always think of us being the recipients of help.
Yes,
but
and
we're equally value adders in the network.
Absolutely.
So when I'm connecting with you, Sipo, I'm not just receiving a great connect. You are receiving a great guy in me.
Absolutely.
I'm a great guy, Sipo.
And I think some of us go into it selfishly as well.
Right?
Because we just want something. I must approach that guy because he's the head of that team. So I must approach him because I want a promotion.
I want to move into that.
Yeah.
So that's why the best time to network is when you need nothing. Because you're not under pressure.
Okay.
When you're networking now to get a job now, you're going to butcher it, right? Because there's pressure of timelines. You're going to pressure cook and microwave this thing. It's going to fail.
Now it's like you're sending calendar invites for next week.
For next week. What's happening now? And in that calendar invite, you want to walk away with a job offer because we met at an event. Dude, I don't know you. Why should I bother?
That's the thing.
Right?
Yeah.
Hence, building steady relationships as much as you can, as many as you can with people. And this is the funny thing. The relationships that I have built out of my networks, right, have rarely translated into a job offer. For me.
Have rarely.
Okay. Like they hardly translate into a job offer.
Yes.
But you know what they did? They led me to an opportunity. When I was having a conversation with a person, like, have you thought about speaking to?
Yes.
Then only then am I going to learn a role.
Yes. So it's sort of like indirect connection to your next role.
Indirect connection to my next, right? And some of those will never really give you your next directly, right?
Yeah.
But it's always great that you have so much reach, that you have so much breadth within and outside the organization.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then what would you say is the biggest cause of people being stagnant in one role and not getting a promotion? I know you've discussed your tools that you can implement, but what do you think are people, that one thing that people aren't doing right?
I think we leave our careers to chance.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is we wait to be promoted. So when we think of promotion most of the time, we wait for your
vacancy,
manager to say, hi, Sipo, we realize the great work that you've done. You're now the manager of. That's a wrong formula in my books, right? I think we should be very proactive. So when you go to those year-end reviews, where you have looking at what you have done for the year. That's why that 5-year plan I was speaking about, Sipo, must be very clear to you, because then you know what you're working towards, and you know what conversation to have with your manager. And it's so useful, and it shortens the conversation when you go to your manager and say, these are my interests. How are you going to help me to achieve these interests? In fact, when you go to him and say, I need this 1, 2, 3 support to achieve this 1, 2, 3. And let's take a role like product management. Within a product management portfolio, if you look at the remuneration policy, they will tier it up, and you'll have L1, L2, and L3 product managers. These are all product managers, but they've got different rankings within the organization, which means from a salary bending point of view, they're not the same as well. And L1 and L2 and L3 will not get similar. L1 is entry level, L2 is mid senior experience, L3 is You can then sit down with your manager or with your HR and say, ask for that staff. You will not be given freely. Ask for it. Say, what do we need to move me from L1 to L2? First find out where are you? Move from L1 to an L2. Okay, Sipo, you must do project management. You must have shown budgeting. You must do In that next FY, as you're going about doing your work, you have that list of stuff that you must tick box, because you know, and you're preparing a portfolio of evidence that on the next annual review, you're going to say,
those standards,
guys, I've met the standards. I think it's time we have a conversation around thinking. And if you can, have that conversation 2-3 times before you get to the year-end review. Because then, again, you're over-communicating. And by the time the time comes, no one will be shocked and say, no, we need to look. It means you are reminding, guys, think about this. I need to do this. This is what I've done. This is my portfolio of evidence. Then you'll find that you'll begin to move quicker. And if it's not there in your BU, like I said, look across the BUs. So it's in your interest that you know your business holistically and not just where you're sitting.
I think the one thing from our conversation, so we're gonna go into like some interesting questions that I've prepared. But I think the one biggest thing that I've learned from this conversation that I hadn't been implementing. There were quite a few things that I'm like, okay, I can definitely take this and this, but the one thing is over communicating. And I've realized that it can actually help you a lot. And it doesn't even need to be with your direct manager who gave you the task, but it can even be with other people in the team. Because then you are able to get other people's skills and then look smart to your manager. You get what I mean? People who are much more experienced than you.
They're like, oh, I'm working on this. Oh, no, I know you can speak to Greg.
Yes.
Suddenly you've spoken to Greg and now Greg has given you a great idea.
Absolutely.
But the danger in that is that give credit.
Obviously.
And that's part of over-communication.
Definitely.
You say, hi.
You got this from this and this and this.
Greg really helped me. I'd like to thank Greg. Greg's manager. Your manager. Then suddenly everyone is aware of you. Greg's manager knows there's a SIPO.
Absolutely. And it's also, you look smart to your manager because the point of the manager's biggest task is being able to delegate. And that shows that you've been able to delegate certain things that you wouldn't be able to do yourself to someone else. They did it for you. And then you give them the credit. But it shows that you're able to grow and become a leader one day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so let's move on to some questions, interesting questions. Let me just open them up.
Please. I'm ready. Shoot me.
Answer as honestly. It's 5 questions.
I will.
Okay. If you had to choose between being married forever without friends
Yeah.
or having friends forever
Yeah.
without being married?
It's a tough one. It's a tough one because I love my friends a lot.
Yes.
But what I'm learning is I'm growing in how a relationship is.
Yeah.
That your partner comes first.
Yes, yes,
So I'm
yes, yes,
painfully
yes.
saying being married without friends because if I could, I would keep both people. But you can't.
Yeah, you got, yeah.
So you need to choose your partner.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. I agree with that. And then if you didn't study engineering
Yeah.
and weren't working in corporate,
Jeez.
what would you be doing?
I'll be a lawyer, Sipo.
No, it's still corporate.
Oh.
Let's say something, lawyers more a bit corporate-ish.
Yeah.
Let's say
No,
something,
I'll be doing something in law
okay,
voluntarily, maybe.
voluntarily.
If money was not an issue,
Yeah.
I would be a lawyer
Yeah.
fighting for justice.
I
in the
see you as a
courts.
lawyer, actually.
I love it. I love lawyers. I think they're smart people.
You should do it. You should do like a course.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's too late. We're moving now. The train
We're
is
moving.
So we'll do that passion in the next life.
Okay. Mteto Nyati or Simchabalala?
Mtetonyati.
You take Mteto Nyati. I kind of knew it.
But he's in my field.
Yes, I kind of knew that.
Yeah. I relate more to him than Sim.
Yes.
Sim,
Okay.
I need to think about him.
Yes.
Mteto is at my fingertips.
Yeah. Where is he now again?
I think he just left Ultron. Eh?
Yeah, but he's somewhere else now.
I don't know. I don't know
Forgot.
where is it now.
But he's still in tech.
Yeah.
Okay. I know you've been SRC.
Yeah.
All these committees,
Yes.
engineering, what.
Yeah.
You've been in various leadership positions, even in church.
Yeah.
But who's the greatest leader you know?
Who is the greatest leader I know?
Yeah.
Pastor Martin. Pastor Martin
Yeah.
Kiba.
And why?
That guy is a great visionary. And how he implements his vision, how he brings people together to run
Yeah.
with the vision,
Yeah.
how he trusts and delegates
Delegation.
authority
Delegation.
in areas that I have never even worked on.
Yeah.
And we learn on the job.
Yes.
I think he's great at that. And most leaders that are referred to as great have got that characteristic.
Yeah. I think the delegation thing is actually a big thing because
Big thing.
because they say that as a leader,
Yeah.
you can actually, one of two things could happen. You could actually work like a dog
Yeah.
and burn out,
Yeah.
or you don't have to work a lot
all, right?
because there are people working for you. They just come to you, you review,
Yeah.
you send them back, they do it again, come back. So I think the delegation part,
It's critical.
Yeah, it's
And
critical.
one of his philosophies is that as a leader, you don't have to be great at anything. Right?
you get people who are great.
You're great. People are
You
great.
hire people smarter than you, and
Yeah.
that's who someone said. Was it? It's not Bill Gates. Someone said that
Yeah.
you hire people that are smarter than you.
And that's his philosophy, right? But most importantly, I think he buys into you as an individual.
Yes.
So you're not just a congregant.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
he's bought into you.
Yeah.
And as often as he can, he will check in and say, "Hi Sipo, hi Bopilo, how are you doing?" That's a leader that I want to
Yeah.
be under.
Absolutely.
But most important, that's a leader that I want to grow up to be like. I want people to say that of me when I,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Last but not least, which book or podcast has changed your life?
Book.
Yeah, book or podcast has changed your life.
My favorite book,
Yeah.
Sipo, that I recommend, especially in line of this topic, is Level Up
Okay.
by Pastor Mancha
Oh, okay.
Pierha.
Yeah.
She's really wrote great insights around this topic. But also, there's a podcast by Manda Chifularo.
Oh, yes.
Super Lead.
Super Lead.
And if you can look at the episodes that she did with that lady called Fiona Martin.
Oh, the HR lady.
The HR
She's
lady.
exceptional.
Exceptional. I think you must follow her. Our people must follow
No,
her.
she's exceptional.
Regarding this
Exceptional.
topic.
Yeah.
And lastly, there is a lady called Caris Anderson. She wrote a book called Intelligence Isn't Enough. Yeah, in corporate.
And it's not enough.
Yeah, it's not enough. And that's what we just spoke
Yes,
about, right?
yes.
So I think those three would really give you a deeper framework around this topic if you want to dive deeper into it. And yeah, they're great.
Cool. Thank you so much for honoring this invite. I really learned a lot. And I'm not even hopeful. I'm sure that our listeners will definitely, utilize these tools and will definitely learn a lot from this conversation. So, guys, thank you so much for being with us and watching this episode so far. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And see you on the next episode.